Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Alright guys, what is going on? I ended last stream a little out of character, inconsistent, hit a little bit of the sleepy spell, but I just took a bath and I did a bad shaving job, I know, but I think I'm good. I think I am good, so I will finish off and go live one more time tonight. So guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man, 1993. And as always, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. So we're going to talk about last night's episode of Smackdown. It was the February 24th, 2023 edition, the Fallout show from Elimination Chamber. And we're on the road, of course, to WrestleMania 39. We're, of course, still wondering. The big question coming into the show. Will Jimmy Uso be able to talk Jey Uso into staying with the bloodline? Or will Sami Zayn continue to lurk around despite the fact he could not dethrone Roman? Will Sami Zayn bring out his plan as he tries to take down the bloodline? What will happen? We also had Charlotte Flair going to go face-to-face with her WrestleMania opponent, Rhea Ripley. And Dom Dom is going to stop by, and he is going to just check on his father's match and see how that goes. So we had something set up for WrestleMania. So it was decent on that part. The rest of the show, though, a little forgettable. Kind of filler. Which is why, of course, for those who do follow me on my Instagram, which is the Club of the Man 1993 on Instagram, I've been trying to post 5 Fallout questions on Instagram after the shows. This week I was only able to come up with 3. Just 3, which is not too shabby. I mean, the 3 points were interesting points, but at the same time, again, all it was again, has Jay given us an answer, or will the tribal chief need to force it out of him next week? What happened when Dominic Mysterio cracks his dad's match? And also, who has their eyes on Gunther's Intercontinental title for WrestleMania 39? It could be one-on-one. It could also possibly be a possible triple threat match. We'll have to wait and see, though. So, let's roll in and let's talk about some stuff. First, check the live chat, which we've got Tyler. He says, "Hi, Mike. Pull the trigger on this Mysterios. Have a match at Mania. I'm hoping that still will be the case. He would rather have Rhea face Bianca and Charlotte face Asuka. He had to show up B. And his usual petition to fire Ronda. Horseface Rousey." Again, Tyler, my friend, you may want to be careful. Again, it's Ronda Rousey, even though she's been bland this year, could come out of the blue and still put you in that armbar. I hate to see it happen to you, buddy, but just be careful. Alright, let's roll in and talk about it, because I just yawned, so I'm already getting worried I'm going to get tired from this, but, you know. Here I am, doing what I do. Anyways, so again, this show took place in Evansville, Indiana. And we open up with Jimmy Uso arriving at the arena. He says he hasn't spoken with Jay yet, despite reaching out and telling him that whatever he needs to get off his chest, he can look him in the face and tell his own brother. So he plans on trying to do that by the end of the night, hoping that Jay Uso will indeed show up. We open up with a six-man tag match. Imperium, which of course is Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, taking on the team of Ricochet, Braun Strowman, and Madcap Moss. So, before I talk about the match quickly, there's been some rumors going around. There was a Fallout interview from last week's SmackDown when Madcap Moss had his IC title match against Gunther. And the both of them, Madcap Moss and Emma, again, who in real life are a couple, blamed the fans for Moss not winning. And I saw that, I'm like, is that them going heel? Because quite frankly, Emma especially, again, I love Emma, but I still think her best character work was definitely when she was a heel. So I am for that heel turn, but I thought they were going to roll with that character in this week. They didn't, and Madcap Moss was just a babyface again. I also want to mention this. I also posted this on Instagram. Did you guys know, because it involves Emma, did you guys know that apparently back in 2014 when Saraya, at the time Paige, made her main roster debut, that moment almost didn't happen. Apparently before that, Saraya had some female surgery, and she may not have been cleared in time for the night after Mania. Had she not have been cleared, apparently the plan B for that night to dethrone AJ Lee was Emma. Now I look back at that, and again, because that's the moment as a late bloomer fan like me, that moment was when I got connected and I got hooked on women's wrestling. Because again, I didn't know who Paige was. She came out looking promising. She came out, attractive. She came out, at 21 years old, pulling off this miracle and dethroning, at the time, the longest reigning Divas champion. So, I had been exposed to Emma already, I believe, at this point. I liked Emma, but I didn't like her dancing gimmick. Again, I still think her best work is indeed as a heel. As evil Emma, wherever she was. I don't know if that would have been as impactful as it would have been. And by the way, I found this out because I was listening to an episode of Renee Paquette's Oral Sessions back in April 2021. And yeah, that's when Saraya reveals that, yeah, she had that some surgery recently before that moment, and she almost didn't get cleared. And again, had she not been cleared, they were probably going to go with Emma. But just an interesting fun fact that I forgot to mention on my last stream when I talked about Saraya's match with Sky Blue. But I just want to get that out there. But anyways, the 6-man tag match was fine. It was what it was. During the match, though, Drew McIntyre came out and stared down Gunther. Now, one-on-one, Drew and Gunther, I think, would be awesome at WrestleMania. They're probably, though, going to add in Sheamus, as I feel like they should. So, a possible triple threat with Gunther, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus. Seeing this, though, made me kind of want to see Drew win, because like I keep saying, yes, he won last year against Happy Corbin, but I just still feel like he got robbed from a WrestleMania moment. And a true WrestleMania moment would be him maybe dethroning Gunther. Again, running the IC title, which, I'm not opposed to that. I'm also not opposed to Sheamus winning the IC title from Gunther also. We'll have to wait and see, of course, though. But that was a nice tease there. But Imperium still win. But then afterwards, the Viking Raiders attacked, and then Sheamus came out. Why are we continuing this? This feud with the Viking Raiders and Drew McIntyre and Sheamus is already feels like overtime. So why they're continuing this, I have no idea. Backstage, though, we have Rey Mysterio being interviewed about his upcoming match with Karrion Kross later on the show. But then rolls up Santos Escobar, who he just recently had a respectable backstage exchange with exclusively. Escobar says there's one thing he and his family value, and that's respect. He's had the honor of earning a mask from Rey, and he wants to show the universe how much he respects him. And then Rey says that's a mutual feeling, but before he can shake on it, Dominic Mysterio rolls up with Rhea Ripley. So it looks like they're teasing a face turn from Santos Escobar, but what about the rest of Legado del Fantasma? I'm not quite sure where this is going, but we'll see. But of course, Dom rolls up, talks some trash. Then Santos tells them you gotta teach him respect, and then Dom's like, psh. He just mentions something again about being in prison, and Escobar laughs for it getting in his face, but it's not his face, but rather Rhea's. And the Judgment Day mockingly wish Rey good luck. Santos tells him not to let it bother him, but Rey says it's his son. How can I not be bothered by that? Which is true. Of course, they're definitely slowly, turning up the temperature on this feud, as again, it's going to get very, more personal in the next coming weeks. We have a backstage with Jimmy talking with Solo about what's all been going on. And Jimmy's like, well, Jay showed up for the tag title match, but since we're in a different city, things might be a little bit different. And he might be spooked by the whole Sami Zayn thing. Paul Heyman comes over and says, if that's the case, maybe Solo should stay back here while Jimmy handles this Uso to Uso. Then we have LA Knight coming out, hyping up a LA WrestleMania moment, but then the New Day came out, sets up to a random match with LA Knight and Kofi Kingston, and Kofi won, and I was kind of felt a little let down, because I was intrigued to see what LA Knight was planning for WrestleMania, but then New Day come out, and with how points they are, and then Kofi just beats LA Knight, so what did that really do for anybody? Kofi's not going after any singles titles right now. That could have been beneficial, of course, for LA Knight, but that's that. Oh, something else I liked. So they've been hyping up all week that there's going to be a face-to-face confrontation between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte came out and says that, okay, Rhea, I've been waiting all week. What do you want? She doesn't come out. Charlotte says she smells hesitation. And she's like, Rhea, remember the last time we were in the ring together? It's okay to be scared and have second thoughts. But of course, Dominic Mysterio comes out and starts calling Charlotte Queenie. Which, funny enough, that was my mom's dog's name growing up. But he won't let the queen run down mommy. She compliments him on following orders, but tells him to go get Rhea instead of hiding behind her boy toy. And Dom says she sounds bitter because she knows Rhea is the hottest thing in the company right now, and no other woman has won the Rumble from number one like Mamacita did. And he tells her to smile more often, and talks about how women are softer, more delicate, but Rhea is so strong that she nearly breaks his back when she hugs him. And when she makes sweet, and Charlotte's like, no, enough, cuts him off. And she goes, I have a real Latino man at home. Referring to Andrade, of course, but she says, who has a much thicker, teasing obviously what we knew she was going to say, but then goes, accent. So she doesn't want to know what the hell he's talking about. So she tricked us there from a super even more awkward moment. But Dom says, I just wanted to chat. We have a lot in common. We're generational superstars, know what it's like to be compared to our fathers. Which again, it's Dom being completely delusional. He spins a tale about when she lost at WrestleMania. She'll know her dad was right, and she's just not good enough. Which, okay, it's crazy because Charlotte's against a 14-time world champion. Charlotte says, though, I love my dad, unlike you. And I'm like, I don't know. You've had some history, but Nature Boy's turning 74 tomorrow. And since if she was here, she'd kick her butt. But since Dom's here, she'll kick his instead. But of course, before they could do it, though, Rhea came out and they had basically had a face-to-face confrontation. Also, was Charlotte wearing heels? Because why all of a sudden was she like a lot more taller than Rhea than I thought she was? But that happened there. I mean, the most interesting part of the segment for sure was definitely Dom. Like, Charlotte and Rhea just stood each other down. That's why I keep saying if they are indeed splitting the Judgment Day after Mania, you gotta keep Dom and Rhea together. That unit is just awesome together. Then we had a segment with match with Natalya and Shayna Baszler and Tegan Nox. Well, first off, Shayna Baszler came out to Ronda's theme. Why? I don't know. You know why, but Natalya randomly said she would have. Tegan Nox said she'd have Natalya's back. And Shayna won the match. She dominated the match. Then afterwards, Tegan Nox comes in, and while Natalya's down, both Ronda and Shayna run away from her, which I thought was odd because yes, although I do have a lot of faith in Tegan Nox, she's still an underdog character. Why would two heels run away from an underdog character like that? Especially if she still has potential and something to prove. But I just didn't get why they had to do that. I thought that was weird. Then we have a random Firefly Funhouse episode with Bray Wyatt watching his own promos. Some news station thing. Uncle Howdy doing the weather, clip show called Can You Keep a Secret, with a wacky video, and Uncle Howdy asking us if we can keep a secret to tell us a story. What? We'll find out eventually what that is. Karrion Kross beat Rey Mysterio with the cross jacket after Dominic came out and distracted his father. And then afterwards, for quite a while, Dom was confronting Rey, and he's like, hit me, and a few times Rey got up into his face, but he just couldn't pull the trigger. He just doesn't want to hurt his son, but Dom's pushing him to, keep going, go over the limit, basically, but he's refusing, and you know what that means. So we then have Jimmy Uso getting ready to try to talk some sense into Jey Uso. And I guess Roman Reigns had called Paul Heyman and said, make sure he gets it right or else I'll be there to do it if he can't do it. So Jey comes out and says Jimmy comes out and says he knows Jey's hurting. And when he hurts, Jimmy hurts. But he just wanted to tell him he'll always be there for him. And he knows there's been issues and everything's crazy. They've had Sami Zayn and KO problems. And he knows Jey has issues with the Tribal Chief. But he can't do this alone. So Sammy, of course, doesn't get an entrance. He just comes in with the black hooded figure like he has been lately. And he tries to talk some sense into Jey. Basically, the same conversations he would have, with Jimmy. Same conversations he had with Jey, but he's talking to Jimmy now, trying to convince him, hey, Roman's just using you. But off distractions, they see Jey enter through the crowd. Jimmy wants nothing to do with it. He wants us to be all bloodline. But they brawl, and then Solo came out and ran off Sammy, but there's already a little bit of a brawl there. And then Sammy just runs through the crowd to end the show. So again, we still have no clue what the heck is going on with Jey Uso. Again, who is he siding with? Who he was going to who he was going to come to the aid for at Elimination Chamber, we don't know. We really don't know. So, of course, that means that next week on SmackDown, Roman Reigns will show up and try to, put this to bed as well. But I'm getting tired again, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to cut it here, but that's SmackDown. I gave it a B-. Again, I'm intrigued by the idea of Drew McIntyre fighting Gunther, maybe with Sheamus. Charlotte Rhea, again, could be good. Dominic, though, of course, had the best stuff in this episode. Saying the crap he said to Santos Escobar and his father, trying to get his father to hit him. Again, that's going to be great once that happens. And of course, the ending segment. Other than that, kind of skippable. Again, I don't get why Ronda and Shayna were afraid of Tegan Nox. Again, as much as Tegan's awesome, that still makes no sense to me to be afraid of her. So I gave the show a B-. I gave it a B-. I appreciate your stuff in the live chat, Tyler, but again, I'm getting tired. I think I'm going to get ready to go to bed. I have a long day again tomorrow. So guys, thank you for joining me live again twice tonight. What are your guys' thoughts on SmackDown for this week? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on the channel. Follow me on Twitter at The Club of the Man 93 and follow me on TikTok and Instagram at The Club of the Man 1993. And don't forget, guys, in order to be superior to be the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.